Perfect. And also, just to introduce ourselves as well, Aradhya is the head of product at NRev. He is the first person who tests out everything, builds everything along with our customers, and anything on or everything on the product is kind of strategized by him. I am one of the co-founders and the CEO of NRev, and with that, I'll let you go forward with it, Aradhya. You can start sharing your screen, and also would love for you to give a context of why we are building any of these agents, what kind of outcomes they give us.
Perfect. So, we all listen way too much chatter in the market around not only like our competitors, sort of rustling up stuff, them getting a lot of shout outs and stuff like that. But more importantly, this always leaves us with a question, whether there's this constant fear, I would say, that what if I'm missing out the right post where perhaps, let's say, a competitor mention has gained a lot of traction, and perhaps I could have gone in, chimed in, and maybe just ridden the wave and dropped in a bunch of comments myself and stuff like that. So along with that, at the end of the day, cold calling, I would say cold outreaches on emails, while they still might or might not be important, they're very expensive. And, sourcing data, doing waterfalls. We do that, but at the end of the day, LinkedIn every day is getting a much more stronger and stronger place where with the right kind of automations, with the right kind of strategies, you can not only land good customers, but even ensure that your presence is actually established in the market in the right audience. So to start off with, so in this session, we'll sort of work around with three different workflows. We'll build one of those and we'll just sort of, give you a walkthrough of the other two so that you have more context and we save a lot of time for the folks as well. So to start off with, what we'll do is we'll sort of we'll build a workflow where NRev comes in. We'll create a repository of competitors and the kind of topics we're interested in. And then we'll just build out a very small workflow, which does a very simple thing. It will wake up every week. It will figure out what all posts were there where my competitor was mentioned with some specific keywords. We'll perform a very simple classification, whether they're relevant for me or not, as a double verification. And then we'll simply send it out on Slack. Awesome. So the moment you land on NRev, this is what you see. You can see your past created workflows. We have a fairly decent AI builder as well, where you can just type in a prompt and it can build out very, very similar workflows and even consult and edit workflows that are already there. But for this call, we'll just create from scratch so that we can actually get into the nitty-gritties. Yeah. So this is my canvas. So as I said, every week a bot comes in, checks out the post from my competitor and relays the relevant ones to me. So let's just start off with, let's say, a scheduler. I'll come in, I'll put in a scheduler here. Let's configure it for every week, let's say on Mondays and at, I don't know, 9 a.m. when I start my day. So I can run this. And now I've already sort of created a Google Sheet from which, this can be my master repository where I can manage my competitors, keywords, and ultimately even my results can be written here. So in terms of competitors, we like to keep our eye on stuff like clay.com, N10. Let me just double check their domain. Is this correct? Maybe I'll add make.com as well. Yeah, so 3 competitors are good for now. I've dropped in some keywords that are of interest to me. And now I'll just go in and connect my Google Sheet and bring these values in as well. So I'll just type in get values in range. Yeah, so this block itself helps us simply go in and import any data from Google Sheets. By the way, you can do very similar things from CSV as well, but I feel Google Sheets help me maintain it better. So yeah, let me just pull in all the competitors. And in the meantime, I'll just do a same thing for my keywords as well.
So by the way, while Aradhya is building this out, I'll just give a context of how we ourselves use it. We do it a little more frequently. Aradhya is showing a frequency that a lot of our customers use, but for ourselves, we do it more frequently because there's a lot of talk about people building automations in GTM using competitors like N10, Clay, stuff like that. So it kind of every day comes in and gives us a heads up about all ICP fit people talking about these competitors, as well as anything around AI and GTM or automations in GTM. A number of other keywords of around marketing, etc., could also come in. Right. So typically we kind of do a multi-pronged approach for this, where we kind of not just kind of go in and comment, but we also get the nuance of the problem that this person is looking to solve via anything. And it's not always the case that they've completely solved the issue, right? Which gives us a very targeted list to go behind. And since we have some good edges against N10 and Clay, we just pull up the battle card and get a very good conversion rate because we know the exact problem that that person is looking to solve for themselves. So yeah, I'll not interrupt Aradhya in his building. Go ahead, Aradhya. That's all.
So yeah, I had pulled in both the information, and now I'm just going to sort of fetch the live company profiles, because in order to look specifically for company mentions, it's highly recommended to get their LinkedIn IDs first. So we have built-in live LinkedIn scrapers for getting posts of a person, comments by them, comments associated with the post, searching posts and stuff like that. So they're built in, no APIs, nothing. You just have to configure what exactly you're looking for and you're good to go. So here I just had to provide the domain and I'll hit run. So in a few seconds, it will directly go to LinkedIn, scrape their live profiles and bring out all the relevant information for me. So let's just give it a couple of seconds.
By the way, that domain variable that you saw, Aradhya, we can touch upon that a little bit and also show the data that we are pulling in so that
Yeah.
people have an idea on what exactly is happening.
Yeah. So here I had just configured my competitors and I can mention as many as I want. Here I just sort of connected it with my Google Sheet and fetched it from the exact Google Sheet so that I can fetch it. Just a quick context. This for every individual block, you can simply go in and double click to see what exactly is it made of. And also you can, once it's run, you can even check out its output. So on NRev, we sort of try to, just give you a flavor of both the things, where you can handle sophisticated workflows by a very robust workflow builder, but you also have the comfort of Sheets, a bit like Clay as well, where, you can simply see your data evolving as you build it. So yeah, as you can see, I just got their company profiles. I got all the relevant information that's there on the LinkedIn page, but I don't need all of it. I just need their company IDs for now. And similarly here, I have also fetched the keywords that I'm interested in. So now I'll just, merge these two data together because I want to make a post search query where I can, query on a combination of these two. So I'll just merge these two together. Awesome. So yeah, I'll just connect these. So now I'll just say that, okay, maybe on all combinations. So 3 by 3, I'll essentially perform 9 searches.
Aradhya, if you could also show the data that was there before the merge and after the merge, that would be helpful, I
Yeah.
think, to understand how what merge happened.
Yeah. So as you can see, I had 3 keywords and 3 companies. I mean, we can obviously, club these together using commas, but I want to go thorough at the moment. So yeah. So as you can see, for each domain, that was my competitor domain, I have sort of added keywords as well. So 3 cross 3, 9 entries I have. And now I can simply now just type in maybe, let's say, search posts.
Alternatively,
Yeah.
Aradhya, we could also use Google to search for.
Yeah, but
That is
so if you want more thematic information, you can use Google search. But if you want exact mentions, this this bit works a lot better. So yeah, I'll refer the company ID. I can refer the keyword. I don't have a preference in terms of the authors. I'll just, given I'm scheduling it every week, I'll just say in the past week up to 50 posts, and we're good. So now this will specifically go on LinkedIn and perform a post search only where that specific competitor of mine is mentioned as a tag. So this, I mean, LinkedIn can be a lot noisy, but this helps you, just circumvent and get very focused insights. By the way, that Shantu, that Google bit we'll cover in our second play as well.
Perfect.
So, yes, now for each of them, I have a lot of information with me. I have the poster LinkedIn URL, I have the poster name, poster title, the post URL, the text, likes, and comments. Everything is in, and we can even verify. So let's just check this post out. So this post ideally should have been mentioning clay, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So this is a post that I don't know, talks about some stuff, and clay is already mentioned here, along with the keyword that I had mentioned. But just to be
This
double sure,
mentions N10, by the way, Aradhya, and it's actually tagged in the bottom as well.
no, this mentions clay.
Oh, okay. Got it, my bad.
Anyway, yes. So we have, I don't know, within a few minutes, we have extracted almost 227 posts from the last week, where few of my competitors were mentioned with a specific keyword in the posts. Moving forward, I mean, let's say I just want the more, I would say, hot posts. So I'll just maybe apply a filter, and we can simply apply a filter block where I say that there should be at least, let's say, 25 likes. So I'll just go in, type in likes. Number is greater than 25. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so as you can see, my list got even trimmed further down. So I have 73 rows now. And let's say now I just want to, just to ensure that I don't just that the post is actually related with the keywords that I care about or the themes that I care about. We have our entire dedicated AI toolkit where you get a lot of stuff. And here I can perhaps use a simple AI classifier. So this works quite well, especially when you have some, rather than, going for very rigid filtering logics, you can always invoke this to perform any kind of actions. And no one amongst us likes to write prompts, very dedicated prompts and stuff like that. So we even have a simple generate with AI functionality. Here I can say that simply take in the post text and verify if it's associated with the theme presented in my keyword. I can hit generate, and the AI builder itself will generate the configuration so that it's ready to go right off the bat. Awesome. So it's just it's mentioned the content for classification, which is the post text. Then it's written a very quick prompt. I mentioned the keyword as well, and then even made the classification keys for me that whether it's associated or not. So yeah, I think we are good to go. I can even, just go in and include the reason so that, AI tends to perform a bit better if you want to actually consume why it felt it should classify it this way. This works quite well. So I'll just close this, let it update. Yeah. And now I can just hit run. By the way, right now we are essentially making 73 AI calls in one go. So in order to make NRev scale friendly, rather than just processing them one by one, we tend to throw them in multiple batches so that the execution is quite fast. So this entire thing can happen in less than a minute. Yeah, see, it's done already. It's classified 73 posts on the basis of the themes that I had. If I see, yeah, so it's provided me the whole thing. Now I can just filter the relevant ones.
By the way, as Aradhya builds, you will also notice that there's something interesting as every time he clicks to add a new node or add a new branch, there's a AI invoking that comes up. So instead of choosing which action you want to add manually, you can actually just write down your requirements, and the AI builder will kind of make sure it takes the right actions and takes all the variables into consideration, etc.
Yeah, Perfect. Now moving forward to the last step, let's say I want to write this back in the results bit itself. So what I can simply do is I'll just go here. I'll drop in, add a single row. Yeah. So now I can, just write this directly into a Google worksheet, and the entire automation will be built out post that. So I'll just use mine. Competitor mentions, the results. I can fetch the columns. Now it starts fetching the columns for me. Select all. Now I can drop in all the columns. I can drop in the date. It's in posted column. Post a LinkedIn URL is something I have. Post a name. The rate text is the exact post text so that I can use it for later. And the rate post URL. And finally, the competitor mentioned. Yeah, all done. So this will now start writing the entire thing on my Google sheet. I'll just adjust the height so you can see. So all my posts with all my competitor mentions are now in a single Google sheet. And now if I want to make this run, let's say every week, I can simply go in and enable this automation and set it in motion. And I'm all done. Now every week, this bot will wake up, figure out all the relevant posts and dump it in a Google sheet. I can even send it on Slack, maybe ingest it into my Salesforce as potential leads and stuff like that. Are there any questions?
Do you ever find that you need to step in to review the steps that are happening automatically?
Sorry, can you please say it again?
Do you ever, like human in the loop, do you ever find that you need to review the steps that are getting automated? And how do you do that?
So, Shantanu, do you want to take this?
I'll take the first cut at it, Justin, and then Aradhya, you can step in. So, absolutely, Justin. So, we are introducing a new feature where it can be done very easily. But even today, what happens is we have these Slack as an interface or an email as an interface where these agents kind of communicate with the owner of the workflow or anyone you want to get the approval from. It sets up a message to be delivered to that person, and then a separate agent today actually listens to that and gets the job done. But very soon, I think in the next month itself, we will have an inbuilt, human in the loop step. And thanks for pointing that out, Justin. I think the single agent will be able to do it. Today, we are using two agents to do this.
So, yeah, I mean, so what we tend to do, Justin, right now, I mean, we do have a workaround for it, but not a dedicated node where rather than, let's say, sending it on directly onto a Google Sheet or on a system of records of yours, you can directly send it on Slack. And if you type approved, then it can perform an action which is very similar, which can be writing to Google Sheet or whatever you want to do. So in fact, just to give you an example, here, as you can see in this channel, every day we receive a bunch of, I would say, copies around a sequence. And if you hit approved, it directly ingests the data into Smart Leads.
Well, thank you.
Perfect. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Shayantu, do you want to introduce it? I mean, you're very passionate about the Google search one.
Yes. So generally, you will notice that when we search for different topics on LinkedIn, it's not necessarily the best search that can happen. And also, it does not necessarily surface the context of what you're searching for. So we kind of do a workaround for it where we use Google to do the same. And this can be used not just for LinkedIn, but for any public, let's say, a discussion forum or any forum that does not require us to sign into it. You will notice that, like, basically, LinkedIn posts necessarily don't require us to sign in, although it keeps prodding us. So that is why it is possible for us to do the same. But Google does a much better job in terms of understanding what you're looking to search for, and hence gives a much better results, which is why we do a slight bit of a tweak when we're looking for a little more complex bit of search for what people are stating as problems. So, for example, if I were to look for people looking to configure their forecasting, I will typically not use LinkedIn as a search, but I will typically look at using Google as a search. And rather, if you can show how that is done.
Yeah. I'll just share my screen again. You'll see a lot of similar stuff, but it's configured in a very different way. Where we're using very similar mechanisms, but in this case, rather than focusing on competitor takedowns and stuff like that, we'll specifically focus on trying to listen to people who are talking about the topics that matter to me, and then simply qualify them as my ICP, and then finally just sending it across to a system of records, or in this case, just to mix and match it a bit, I'm going to send it out to Slack. So in interest of time, I've already built this. This is slightly bigger, but you don't have to worry. We'll be sharing this as a place so that you can just come in and configure your Google Sheet and you'll be good to go. But here, just to give context, I also want to introduce our AI builder, where not only you can build stuff here, but I can simply go in and ask it, like, what exactly do I need to change? And it will clearly tell me what all steps do I need to tweak in order to make this work. And it also generates a good summary for me around what exactly is happening in this workflow. Just to give you an overview here, again, familiar faces, as I said, we have a scheduler, we have a Google Sheet that pulls in all the topics. And here, rather than, performing a post search, I'm simply performing a Google search. And here it's a very simple query, site linkedin.com/posts, then topic. And then given I want to ensure that my stuff never gets repeated, I also introduced this threshold date, which is nothing but, today's date, 7 days before today's date. So it will essentially go in, give me all those LinkedIn posts that are that have happened in the past 1 week. It gives me the URL, it gives me the description, it gives me the title of the post as well. So yeah, I think in 4 cents, I was able to scrape out 388 posts. Then obviously, given it was driven by multiple topics, I do a simple deduplication, perform a simple classification, whether it's relevant to my topic or not. I extract LinkedIn shorthand. By the way, for a bit more technical users, you don't have to do this, but if you are into it, you can write custom Python codes as well. And obviously, you can generate the codes using AI so that you don't actually have to code. You can just review and run it. Then what we do is that once we have the shorthand and the extracted URL of the post, we simply go in and scrape the live profile of the person so that we can get all the possible relevant information about them before you're simply performing an ICP classification. So just to give you an insight around when we scrape a LinkedIn profile, what kind of information we relay, I'll just open up the outputs. Yeah, so we get the whole thing. We get their about, city, company, the company description, industry, where did they study, their experiences. By the way, this is super handy when you're looking out for warm connections and champion movement. What languages do they speak? Almost anything and everything that's on a person's LinkedIn profile that gets scraped and gets relayed to you in a very structured manner. And from this, I just went ahead and we tried to classify the people on the basis of their about and their past experiences into different personas that might be relevant in this case for NRev. So we went out for founder and general leadership, GTM leadership, RevOps, and then I just dropped in another class for others, ran this, filtered this out. Then again, a very simple agentic research around whether the company falls in my ICP or not. Again, I just dumped in some information about the company and dropped in my criterias and performed ICP qualification using web research and a fairly decent model. This again gets filtered out. I get further posts and the exact post for more context. Here, we wanted to engage them first. So rather than just writing it to a data set of mine, I sort of send it as notifications by reading the post and generating a thoughtful comment about it directly to Slack. And once I do this, I simply can hit run and it will start bombarding my Slack channel where I get notifications like this. I get the exact profile of the person. By the way, it started buzzing. I get the recent post and I even get a simple comment, which I can just copy and paste directly here. Any questions? Any doubts? Any kind of suggestions around what, like, have you faced something similar, or how would you like to do something similar? And maybe perhaps we can help you out and branch out use cases from it.
Are you automating any of the posting or just the research? And
Yes. So the entire posting, profile visiting, commenting part is something that's going out by the end of November on NRev, where you're right. I mean, rather than just sending out a notification, you can either comment. NRev will be able to comment on your behalf directly, and we are partnering with the best of folks out there for the same. Or we can even introduce human in the loops, as it was mentioned on the call, where once you hit approve, it will automatic. Maybe let's say you just come in, hit approve, and it will automatically do it. For now, our entire focus, especially in the LinkedIn domain, has been on scraping the data in the most reliable and the cheapest way for our customers. And now, yes, the obvious next step, as you said, is simply to just perform the actions on behalf of the user.
I have a question. Can we get the post data by using LinkedIn profile if we are going to provide a list of profiles? Then depend
Yes.
upon we can extract those data or we can get those data whenever they post it.
Yes. So we have this dedicated node called get post by person, where if you provide the LinkedIn URL, and you can even go in and select and scrape up to 1,000 posts. And for each person, for each profile, our output looks a bit like this. I'll just scroll to the right to show you. Yeah. So you get the post URL. This can come in handy to later extract the comments of a specific post or even the reactions of a specific post. You can get the exact post URL, the exact text. You can use it to do thematic analysis and stuff like that. You even get the appreciations, comments, interests, like every possible data point associated with that. We further relay whether it was reposted by someone. In case it was reposted by someone, then what exactly was the repost comment and who was the person who posted it in the first place. So again, for somewhere around 3 cents, you can get up to 50 posts just by providing the LinkedIn URL of a person.
So
Just to, sorry,
yeah,
just
please
to
go ahead.
clarify, I was saying that it's not doing the scraping from your profile. It is a pre-scraped database from which it's querying.
Okay, got it. And what is the time, the data latency, if I'm going to say, for example, I have a profile of a client who did post 15 minutes ago or a month ago. So will that post come into this, or what is the timeline for that?
Yeah, very little. We daily do scraping for the kind of topics we started with that, saying that every day we look for posts that are related to either our competitors or certain topics that interest us. So I don't think it's more than 15 minutes because I have received posts of that are delayed by 15 minutes.
I mean, the one we built out in this workflow, this post was 58 minutes ago. So it's near, I would say it's very, very real time. You wouldn't miss out on a lot.
Got it. So I just want to test this. I have a 15 or a 16 profile, and I just want to track on a daily basis how much posting was. And if we find, so there are two flow that I want to implement. The first one, I have a list of profile for which I need to track what they are posting and all the other things. And if I got the data that they posted right now, okay, and depend upon that, I know I want to fetch the insights of the trend of the how many likes, how many comments, and how many we share they got. I guess we won't able to fetch the inside data, right?
No. So impression data won't be able to get, I mean, because it's not really on the UI always, apart from the one who's posting it. But
Yeah,
all the comments, reactions, that gets taken care of.
Got it. So for example, I posted 15 minutes ago. I just want my agent to be get the data for each that particular post. What happened? What is the like, comment, and reshare after 15 minutes, after 3 hours, or after 1 hour?
Some guy was right.
Sorry, Atul. Someone was unmuted. Yeah, not a problem.
So after 15 minutes, after 30 minutes, after 1 hour, after 3 hours, and after 9 hours.
So ideally, doing this via this kind of scraping might get a little expensive, although the other way of doing it is connecting your LinkedIn API. So that is something that can also be set up Aradhya, we might need a little bit of code to set that up, but that can also be set up where we use the person's LinkedIn API and then fetch their engagement details, right? And that will be dynamic in nature. At any point in time, that does not cost anything to kind of keep pulling in data.
The problem
We,
with the LinkedIn API is they required a scope. And I'm not sure about the engagement data that we are fetching, we are going to get in the first scope, because the first scope that they by default they are providing, through which we can do the posting, we can do the comment and all this thing. I'm not sure if they cover the inside part or not.
Look, this is the official LinkedIn API, Atul. And I can take this offline with you, Atul, to kind of further explore this. But the official LinkedIn API, which helps any person gather their own engagement, will definitely be handy to kind of get this data continuously.
So this is something we want to implement, and let me know if we can implement it.
Absolutely. Sure. I'll connect with you, Atul, offline. Yeah, go ahead, Rizzy.
perfect. Cool. So, I mean, as I was saying, the beauty of building out stuff in this way is that it's very deterministic and you can reuse lots and lots of chunks for very different use cases. So, for example, I mean, just to summarize here in this specific use case, what we were doing a very simple thing, right? We had a bunch of keywords. We figured out the most relevant posts. We verified them. We figured out who posted them, and then finally whether we verified whether they are an ICP or not, created a comment and simply shot it out on Slack so that anyone can get a bunch of tasks around, just starting to, just to start reaching out to a specific person who is posting about the stuff you care about or you are out there to solve, and more importantly is fits in your ICP. So but I would say by the time till here, where I had just figured out the posts, whether they are relevant or not for me, before getting into, just figuring out who exactly posted them, I can even, think of it a bit differently. Like, what if I already have some very good posts ready to go, right? So how about I, just let's say I figure out a way, if I could figure out a way to just get their comments, or let's say simply get a post comments, because if a post is already quite relevant and it's gaining a lot of traction, I could extract a bunch of comments from there, and maybe they themselves can become relevant leads for me.
So,
So,
Radhe, let me actually point out the use case because we faced it ourselves, right? So, from our perspective, what happened was there are all these engagement bait kind of posts, which says that I've built out this agent or I've built out, say, some kind of an automation and, comment XYZ to get this automation at hand. Right now, for our use case, this becomes again a very dedicated or a very targeted person on the comment section rather than the poster who is experiencing some problem that they want to get access, a solution access to. Right. So that's where we kind of do an extra step of even going through the comment section to filter for ICP people for whom, again, we know the exact nuance of the problem that we can, go ahead and reach out for. And I'm sure this is not only the case for GTM, but there are a lot of engagement-based posts on LinkedIn, Twitter, all about the web. So this is something that Aradhya will show where we can do a further deep dive on not letting the comment section kind of also be under the radar.
yeah, perfect. So I'll just drag this out here. What I'll do is I'll just look at, let's say, the people who are commenting, right? So I can simply get post comments. I'll search this. Yeah. So here it's asking me for a post URL. Every time you extract a post, you anyway get it. So if you go for get post by person, get post by company, search post, you anyway get it. But in this case, we had figured out quite a nifty way to get the post URL ourselves. So I'll just refer this to as a variable, and I'll run this. But given this is a call, like given we are here for a limited set of amount of time, I can even choose to, just test it out first. So on NRev, we have a thing called test mode where you can enable this. And once you do this, I mean, like the entire, you can actually test out run blocks for absolutely zero cost. So this helps our users to, iterate a lot before actually committing to extra costs. And obviously, it saves time as well, where you don't have to run the whole thing. So you can run it for a small subset. In this case, it'll run for the first 5 rows and give me the relevant information. Yeah. So I ran it for the first 5 posts and I got the relevant information. So as you can see, once I had the extracted URL, post that I have the commenter name, their headline, their LinkedIn URL, the time when they commented, and the exact comment that they mentioned as well. And now I can, just given I have their LinkedIn URL, I can simply go in, maybe just, copy paste this, where given I have their LinkedIn profile, now I can just go in, copy this whole thing and use it here so that I can directly go in and perform ICP qualification directly to just see, just to tap in customers essentially from the hot post comments as well. And it's as easy as that. So now every week it performs 2 different tasks. I can plug it into a different Slack channel, different Google Sheet and stuff like that. Within one single workflow, you can perform 2 different tasks. Or if you prefer it the other way, you can just, that's the way we'll give it to you as well, where you can, you'll have 3 separate workflows and you can choose to enable or disable any of them. All right, all done. Any
Awesome.
closing
Thank you so
questions,
much, Aradhya. Yeah.
comments?
Would open the floor up to everyone who's here in case you have any query on the automations that we just showed you today, or in case there's anything around any other kind of automations or other kind of strategies that you are looking to automate for yourself. Would be open to any kind of questions around that.
What kind of skill set does the employee who's building these things need to have? Is this a traditional MOPS person? Someone who's done like email marketing? What's the
Not really, Justin. We're trying to make it as simple as possible. So today you might need someone who is in RevOps maybe, or someone who is somewhat familiar. I wouldn't say so. If there's someone who has used an N10 or Clay, for example, they would find it 10 times easier to use NRev. But we'll quickly, Aradhya, also show the AI builder, where Justin, you can just put in the requirement you're looking to automate, and a good framework of it is still built out for you with a decent amount of accuracy, and then you just go in and edit things. So to be honest, we're not building for folks like GTM engineers or very technical folks. We are building out for people who anyway strategize on GTM. But this might take a little bit of time, which is why we refrain from using these on the workshop.
It
But
takes a couple of minutes. We can move forward and maybe I'll just spiral back to it once it's done.
yeah, and I would encourage you, Justin, to give it a try by yourself or anyone here, for that matter, to give it a try in terms of just putting in your requirements and seeing what it churns out for you. In case you're facing any trouble, we'll definitely be there to help. But it's built for the non-technical.
That's our ultimate vision, Justin. GTM folks should always be the people who are able to, especially in today's market, they should be able to experiment as fast as possible, adopt new practices as fast as possible. So while we absolutely want to give the determinism and the predictability of your legacy workflows, our AI builder is constantly evolving in order to ensure that your thoughts can actually get translated to them with a single prompt.
cool.
Any other questions, comments?
The initial goal was to keep it to a 45-minute session, but if there's any one last question, we'll take it up. Thanks, Almas. Awesome. So then what you can expect from us is for us to share this, agents, at least what that we built in this workshop with you, every one of you. The simple thing that you can do is once you have access to NRev, Aradhya, one last thing, if we can just show on how to import a workflow, I could take that as well. But let me quickly share my screen and show it. So basically, once you have a file, what you can do is in any of these workflows that are currently there for you, you can click on these 3 dots that you see here, and you can just see import via file. So the file that you receive on your email, you can just import it via file. And further, if you want to know anything more, like what to kind of customize it or what inputs you need to change for yourself, we can just put it in the AI builder. For example, what inputs or changes do I need to make to this automation to be applicable to my business? It'll exactly tell you the steps where you need to go in and change things. And this is applicable to any of the workflows that you can, import into your space. So it'll understand the workflow, tell you what is happening, ask any questions to it as openly and freely as possible. Perfect. Given that, I hope you're going back with some automations in hand and some idea on how to build new automations. We are going to continue to do this workshop every Thursday. So feel free to invite your friends, invite more of your colleagues or anyone. For example, as Justin just asked us in your team, Justin, if you're looking to kind of help them build it up, we'll be happy to do it on the workshop or otherwise as well. So looking forward to having your teams more productive and devoid of any kind of grunt work or busy work in the future. Thank you, everyone. We'll be closing the session now.
Just 1 minute, Shanto.
Yeah,
Just one thing. By the way, while we were talking, as I said, I just typed in this prompt that I have a bunch of keywords. I want to get their LinkedIn posts, figure out whether they're relevant for me or not, and finally enrich their profiles. So yeah, the moment I typed it, within a minute or so, it came up with a plan, explained whatever I want to do. And once I approve plan, it will be able to create the exact same work. I mean, very similar workflow, which we already made, and it should be good to go. Yeah, so it creates a checkpoint and it starts building out the workflow for you. So this is live as well. I mean, obviously, the battle is won in nuances, but it's very good at least creating a very well-woven framework for you, where you can just, make and tweaks here and there, and you should be good to go. Cool. Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, thank you so much for your time. I think we're good.
Yes, thank you, everyone. All right. See you next Thursday. Bye.